From the abyss to the summit, an inspirational story for the youth. Life is an unending series of challenges, where many are knocked down right from the starting line. Yet, there are those who, despite growing up in adversity, rise with unwavering resilience, turning every pain into a driving force to reshape their destiny. This is the story of Lina Carter, a young entrepreneur who built a multi-million-dollar empire before the age of 30. Despite a tumultuous childhood and seemingly insurmountable obstacles. If you've ever felt that life is unfair, if you've ever thought that your past has sealed your future, take a moment to pause and reflect. Is it truly impossible to change your fate? Or is that just a limitation you have unconsciously imposed upon yourself? Lina Carter's story is living proof that destiny is not determined by circumstances, but by the way we choose to face them. She wasn't a prodigy, nor did she have a privileged starting point, but she possessed something that many lack, the courage to confront herself. She dared to acknowledge her mistakes, to embrace her wounds, and most importantly, to take action. Sometimes, what you need to change your life isn't a miracle, it's the decision to step out of your own shadows and walk toward the light. A turbulent childhood. Lina's life did not begin with glory or privilege. When she was just 9 years old, her parents divorced, a devastating blow for any child. But the worst was yet to come. Her mother, once a strong and loving woman, spiraled into addiction and alcoholism. The mother Lina once knew was gone, replaced by someone she could barely recognize. Every day, she had to witness her mother's decline, a painful reality that culminated in the most horrifying moment of her life, at the age of 15. She watched as her mother attempted to take her own life right before her eyes. That scene was more than just a traumatic shock, it became a defining moment that plunged Lina into an emotional paralysis that lasted for years. In psychology, this phenomenon is known as emotional numbness, a defense mechanism of the brain when faced with overwhelming pain. Some people react to repeated trauma with emotional outbursts, while others, like Lina, unconsciously disconnect from themselves. She felt nothing, no anger, no sadness, no joy. She merely existed as a shadow of herself, drifting through a world she no longer felt a part of. From the ages of 9 to 15, every day was a battle against fear. Her mother would disappear for weeks at a time, with no one knowing where she was. Lina was too afraid to tell anyone, fearing she would be placed in the foster care system. A small, lonely child, trapped in a constant state of anxiety and uncertainty, like standing in the eye of a storm with no safe ground to hold onto. Yet, through those years of silent suffering, something else was forming within her, a resilience she had yet to discover. A hidden strength buried beneath the scars. She lived in a state of detachment, devoid of anger, joy, or any real emotions. A part of her had died that day. From 9 to 15, she endured the gnawing fear of her mother's unexplained disappearances. Unable to confide in anyone, the weight of that secrecy crushed her, leaving her stranded in a world of pressure and unease, where every passing day carried an unspoken dread. When anger becomes a way of life. Leaving home at 19, Lina carried within her an uncontrollable rage. She turned to alcohol, then drugs. Long nights of intoxication, impulsive decisions, reckless actions. It all became a dangerous cycle that led her to 6 arrests within just 18 months. For many, a single arrest would be enough of a wake-up call. But for Lina, she was so deeply consumed by her own recklessness that even getting arrested felt no different from the chaos that had already defined her life. From pain to success. The turning point did not come from a sudden moment of enlightenment but from a gradual realization through the painful falls in life. After facing the consequences too many times, Lina began to understand that she was not truly fighting the outside world, she was battling the deep-seated emotions within her own mind. Every time she tried to escape her anxiety, fear, and sadness, she fell into a dangerous cycle of self-destructive behaviors, whether through alcohol, drugs, or overworking herself. But running away was merely a delay. Pain did not disappear, it was only suppressed, waiting for the right moment to erupt even more forcefully. Each night, as the noise around her faded, Lina was left alone with the terrifying emptiness within her soul. The weight of past traumas closed in, trapping her in an exhausting mental struggle. Nothing truly helped her escape, not reckless indulgence nor fleeting successes in her career. She realized that unless she changed the way she faced her emotions, she would continue spiraling down a path of self-destruction. But avoidance never made negative emotions disappear. It only allowed them to accumulate, waiting to explode at the most unexpected moments. A night-long panic attack at the age of 27 forced her to confront the truth. The problem was not what was happening around her, it was how she responded to it. That was the moment she began her journey of making peace with her emotions. She learned to stop resisting negative feelings. Instead of trying to push them away, she chose to absorb them, to allow herself to fully feel them for a few minutes before moving forward. She realized that negative emotions were not enemies to be eliminated but signals guiding her to better understand herself. When fear arose, instead of running away, she asked herself, "What am I truly afraid of?" When anger surfaced, she didn't suppress it but found healthy ways to express it, through journaling, exercise, or even meditation. She adopted mindfulness practices to observe her emotions without judgment. Each morning, she spent at least 10 minutes focusing on her breath, allowing her mind to become clear and calm. When negative thoughts crept in, she practiced reframing. Instead of seeing failure as the end, she chose to view it as a valuable lesson for growth. She no longer let negative emotions hinder her goals, nor did she deny their existence. Instead, she embraced them as a natural part of being human and transformed them into fuel for growth. This was the most crucial shift that allowed her to sustain success without being consumed by pressure, because she was no longer fighting against herself. She had learned to work with herself. 3 profound life lessons from Lina Carter. 1. Success is not for those who wait for perfection, but for those who dare to take action. Life is a continuous flow of change and growth. People often get stuck in fear and self-doubt, waiting for the perfect moment to begin. But in reality, perfection never arrives, because life itself is a series of challenges and adaptations. Action is not only the key to success but also the way we discover our true potential. Only when you take the first step do you realize that the path is always unfolding ahead. And every limit can be broken when you persist long enough. 2. You don't have to feel good all the time, but you can learn to live well with negative emotions. In every person's journey, negative emotions are not just inevitable, they are essential in shaping who we are. Instead of seeing them as enemies to be eliminated, view them as strict teachers who help you explore your own limits. Every pain, failure, and dark moment carries a valuable lesson, if you are willing to listen. Growth does not come from running away or denying emotions, but from understanding that you can embrace them, overcome them, and use them as fuel for development. When you dare to face the hidden corners of your soul, you will realize that your inner strength is greater than any challenge you have ever feared. 3. To win big, you must be willing to take big risks. Success and failure are 2 sides of the same coin. But what truly matters is not which side it lands on, it's how you respond to it. If you fear failure, you will never dare to bet on yourself. Never step out of your comfort zone to explore your true potential. Life is a series of experiments, moments of bold decisions, and inevitable setbacks. What separates successful people from the rest is not whether they fail, but how they react when failure strikes. They don't avoid it, don't place blame, and don't run away. They learn, adapt, and keep moving forward, daring to challenge yourself, to step into new situations, and to push past your comfort zone is the only way to achieve the extraordinary. Only when you confront your fears do you truly have the chance to take control of your destiny. Conclusion. Lina Carter is not just a successful entrepreneur, she is a living testament to the power of will and determination. She was once lost, standing on the fragile edge of her past's wreckage, but instead of letting pain dictate her future, she chose to take control of her destiny. From a girl drowning in darkness, Lina rose like an unextinguishable flame, building a life that many can only dream of. Her story is a powerful reminder that we are not bound by our past wounds or failures but by the way we choose to confront them. Every day, every moment, we have the opportunity to redefine ourselves, not by what has happened to us, but by how we respond and act in the face of adversity. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is not fate or starting points. It is the ability to transform pain into motivation, failures into lessons, and challenges into opportunities for growth. Anyone can rise above the darkness if they have the courage to face it and keep moving forward. Willpower is not an inborn gift, it is a skill forged through struggle. Success is not a destination but a continuous journey of rising above, challenging mental limitations, and acting with the belief that you can change your own fate. Wherever you are on your journey, whether trapped in a cycle of negativity or unsure of how to move forward, remember this: change always begins with the courage to face yourself. Do not let the past or fear dictate your future. Believe that every small decision you make today has the potential to lead to a better tomorrow. If you want to learn more about building mental resilience, overcoming psychological barriers, and developing a strong mindset, follow Practical Philosophy. This is where we share profound life philosophies, insights from great thinkers, and practical strategies to help you break free from your limitations. Subscribe now to never miss valuable content, and share this message with your loved ones because they, too, might need the inspiration to change their lives.